So we're going to demo handshaking because it really is very, very important. One of the first things is that for a handshake, it's better to be standing. I didn't have you stand because we're really going to run out of time here, I know, so we're okay. Okay, so I didn't have you stand, but when you are first shaking hands with anybody, it's preferable to stand. There are a couple of reasons for it. One of them is, of course, that it honors the person if you stand when they walk into the room to shake their hand. This is anybody, men, women, young, old, just stand up. But the other reason, besides honoring them, is that it puts you in the exact right position to execute an excellent handshake. That's really why we do it as well. So I'm going to demo handshaking for you with Jack. We're going to stand face to face and we're going to square off so our shoulders are pretty even. If you're meeting multiple people, let me stop here and say that I'm going to meet a bunch of people. You don't want to actually do the pivot. You want to actually turn to each person and address them as you shake their hands, so that you make sure that you're actually pivoting around to each person you're going to address. So now I'm going to take my right hand, excuse me, my right hand, I'm losing my voice, and I'm going to aim it at Jack's right hand, and I'm going to take my right thumb and I'm going to aim it at Jack's right shoulder. And you're going to do the same thing with me. We're going to come in and we're not going to stop until our webs touch. You know what your web is. Your web is this part right here between your thumb and your forefinger. So we don't stop coming in until we feel our webs touch. As soon as our webs touch, we close our hands around each other. And we offer a firm but gentle grip. It doesn't want to be a bone crusher. And I also suggest that if either person is wearing rings, that you loosen the grip a tiny bit, because you can really let a ring dig into your finger or the other person's finger with a ring. So you let off just a tiny bit if you've got a ring situation here. And now that we've closed our hands around each other, we're going to do what's called the pump. Everything has a name here, the pump. And the pump, this is where some people go wrong with this, the pump does not happen from the wrist, because that just is very jarring. It looks weird too. It doesn't happen from the shoulder, right? That's the saw, and that's how you throw people off balance. It happens only from the elbow. The pump is from the elbow. And in this culture, we pump 1 to 3 times, with the norm being 3. 1, 2, 3. That's what a handshake looks like. At the same time, of course, there are 2 other components that are equally important to what your hand is doing, and I've already mentioned what they are. One is eye contact, and the other is a smile or a pleasant facial expression. That's exactly part of the handshake as well, in order to feel connected to the person we're shaking hands with. So a smile, pleasant facial expression of some sort at least, eye contact, and connection to the other person. This is the other reason why handshaking is so essential. We're talking about this first impression thing. When you first meet somebody, and this is going to be your interviewer, that handshake communicates so much stuff. First of all, it's tactile. You've just touched each other. So you've made a touch. It's auditory. It's the first time they're going to hear your voice, probably, because you're introducing yourself at the same time. And it's visual. They're getting a close-up look of your face and what you look like. They're going to figure out what they think of you. So making sure that you work on that handshake is really essential. It's very essential that you've got a great handshake. It's going to take you really far, and it's also going to secure that first impression.